credit card in itself. You see, sometimes I pity this country, pity in the sense that there are so many things that government can use to grow the economy very fast.
Like overnight.
Overnight, that's true. Because, you see, if I were the government, I will encourage if political parties, election is around the corner.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If I were political parties, I will move out to professionals and say, what kind of economic policy do you think I can come up with that will be different from what has been the usual practice? You know, people think about SMEs and all that. Focus on industrialization, allowing investors to come in. Good thing we're having
steady,
you know, I don't want to mention name, but large places for shopping.
Yes, now.
Yes. And if you go there Sundays and Saturdays, public holiday, oh my God, it's amazing.
The traffic of humans.
The traffic of humans. And you see the aesthetic. Nigerian like buying things of high quality.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, you know, such is beginning to come up. But I tell you that if you want to contribute very quickly to the GDP, you use it.
Okay, now you're almost taking the words out of my mouth.
All right.
Because now you have mentioned the potentials within the market itself.
Yeah.
But are you not worried? Are you not wearied, you know, by the overdependence, the culture of overdependence on government amongst Nigerians? I mean, Nigerian businesses, we are the patronage that we seem to always expect from government is over 50% of the potentials for our market. Why is that so?
It isn't the fault of Nigerians to expect so much from the government. The reason is because the government hasn't been able to pull itself away from the main, being the major, actor in the economy. So it's like you have clothed yourself with unbearable burden. So intelligently, what the government should do is to disengage, sit back, put in rules and regulations, and allow people to play their business transaction within that rules. You sit back and you collect revenue. I mean, you go to the United States, for example, go to UK. You know the amount of money government rake in every day.
Even ordinary Dubai that just started.
Exactly. Pass through the transport, the rail system, tube, anywhere. If you buy anything, 1 penny, there is a fraction of it that goes to the government. Because the government has set in motion the process that everybody must key into.
I like what you have said, Prof.
Yes.
There's so much intelligence in that. Because what you are saying here right now to Nigerians is that government in those environments is strictly about the business of government.
Yeah.
It is a big business for government to run government.
Yeah.
So what they do is just give the space and let those who would like to play in that space come and play and pay them. That's what you're saying.
There are regulations. The government sits every day to look at who is affected by this rule or who is outperforming the other one. Is the law giving a section any advantage over the other one? Is the rules of the game balanced enough? You see, government is a watchdog looking at the behavior. No violation. That is to say that the law is made to work, and the law also encourages people to behave yourself in such a way that is not detrimental to any section of the society. So, and why are you doing that? Because government also spends money to keeping the system functional. They now introduce rates, very mild taxes here and there, and all that. And then government sit back and see people. You see, the best the government can do is to create incentives. Incentives at our, infant, stage where we are. The economy hasn't
really grown,
developed.
Yes.
And the government is in charge of that. So government is now looking for what incentives can we introduce. And the government thinks that, okay, where is our comparative advantage? Where do we make money as we speak?
But Prof, that is very easy. That's oil and gas.
Well, oil and gas will eventually it will dwindle. You know, there are too many forces on it now. So if you analyze the forces, that's not my business on this program, you come to see that Nigeria hasn't really got any tangible thing.
Advantage in that area.
In that area.
Wow.
In fact, since there is no comparative advantage in that area, you ended up saying Nigeria hasn't got any tangible advantage.
Wow.
So the best option.
But why is this not popular? Why is the opinion not popular? Why is it not
well,
being canvassed, you know, so that our policymakers we know understand what this is all about?
Well, with all respect to policymakers, I think it still goes back to the system we are running. You know, we really need to reculturalize our mind. We really need to call ourselves back to the reality of time that, look, we have no other country than Nigeria. And we are increasing every day in population.
Yes.
And we must have that strong affection for one another. And live and let live, you know. We should derive joy in the comfort of the other person.
So citizenship, shared citizenship.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we have that in our mind, there will be limit to what individual want to acquire for yourself.
No, Prof. Again, this is another. You seem to be coming up with all sorts of solutions, very quaint solutions.
Well,
so you are saying one other method of fighting corruption would be to do what you just analyzed now.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to deal with inadequacies, you know, as regard extreme passion by people to acquire, getting more than your fellow human being, then you need to deal with the issue of integrity, and you need to fine-tune policies. You need to get the law to work, that if you acquire what is clearly above
your means,
the government will not waste time to investigate you. How do you come about this? It is the right of the government anywhere in the world to ask an individual whose sources of revenue is suspect. How do you acquire this? You see, when we talk about Nigeria being credit-worthy as an entity, you know, to be honest, I give kudos to. I'm not a politician. I'm not even recognized in this country. I'm just a simple private person. So whatever I'm saying,
you're just a professional, but a very passionate professional.
No, why I use that word deliberately because if I recall some sad experiences, you know, and I said I really do not belong in this country. Nobody recognizes you. If you don't belong to a political party, if you don't belong to a social club, nobody recognizes you. If you don't come out to deceive people and say something you don't really mean, nobody trusts you. Nobody wants to give you attention. It's running 2 years now when the government of Malta appointed me as the honorary consul
general.
Honorary consulate. You know, for them to represent them.
Consular.
Yeah, consular. Yeah. Yes. In Nigeria here, I was so excited. Malta. I was so excited.
Malta is the gambling capital of the world.
Yeah. Well, Malta is a small country.
Yeah, I know, but the kind of income that country controls.
Very small, but extremely rich. As we speak, a lot of their nationals are looking to move into, you know, markets like Nigeria.
No, but Prof, before we go into Malta, before you make me a Maltese, now quickly let's understand this.
Right.
You were saying something that when Nigeria is considered to be credit-worthy, you want to give kudos to who?
Yeah.
To some professionals in this case.
Right. Thank you. Yes, you see, the Chinese territory, they are very pragmatic, and I commend them that they look at Nigeria as a credit-worthy nation. You know what they've done? The risk scenarios in Nigeria, we want to share in the risk scenarios. We want to see.
Please say that. For the benefit of my viewers, I need, because we have so many traders, so many in the informal sector who are dealing with the Chinese. So I would like you to please say this clearly so that people can understand what they are buying into. Right, please.
Yeah, so the Chinese people are looking at Nigeria as they becoming Nigerian. So they share our risk values with us. That yes, Nigeria governmental system is here to be, you know, adjusted, stable. But then they are looking at the masses, the population, which is the asset that this country have. And that is the point that I want the government
to understand.
That. Then how do we do to get the population into the mainstream of economic and social development?
Activities, yes.
step up policies to increase industrialization. Let there be manufacturing companies everywhere. Because I use the word everywhere because good, every good thing,
you mean literally
everything is in this country. If you want to turn ahead that way, you can do it. You want to create another kind of wares, it's in this country. You want to produce cars, it's in this country. You want to produce, in fact, the biggest fashion business lies in this country. The use of hairs. Look at our population. Ladies everywhere. Is in this country.
We're looking at almost 60 million.
So you are looking at a huge market, and the government is not doing anything about it.
Okay, now let's come to, because again, that is another issue that is part of the credit, access to credit. Now, another area that you need to educate Nigerians, especially our viewers, will be this question of, some people have said, I don't know if you agree with that, that is a very subtle, a very clever way of passing on the cost of poor management of credit by financial institutions to consumers with a high interest rate they charge. So Nigerian borrowers, those who would like to access credit from banks, are being punished, as it were, by the poor ability of those banks to manage their credit. Do you agree with that opinion?
Well, you have said it, and you are a prolific journalist and broadcaster. You've done your investigation, and what you just said is the fact. And my opinion over time has been that I find it difficult, really, to blame the credit loan defaulters. I really do not have a comprehensive professional comfort to blame borrowers. The reason being that all the safeguards had been abused, put in place theoretically, not practically.
Yes.
The way banks' credit decisions, run down from up, down, or down, up, cause serious worry in my mind. If you are giving loan to someone on a request, how much of information do you have?
Gather.
That is one. Two, how much of interception from your own side to that information which makes them useless? If I'm a credit analyst and my responsibility is to get all the information within the management approved template, get them together, analyze them, and come up with the result of my analysis, the duty of the management who has employed me as a qualified credit analyst is to trust my judgment.
And work with that
judgment. I wouldn't expect any intervention from the top. I'm not going to honor any note. You are not going to call me
to say
Prof, get it to fly. Get this thing to fly. That is a common word. Don't tell me get it to fly. How do I get it to fly? Credit thrives on information, just as justice thrives on evidence.
Yes, on equity.
So I have called for fact. I have the audited account. I have the management profile. I have the director's profile. I have the business plan. I have the market survey report. I have everything, so leave me alone. Then I'm going to add up bank references, trade references. I'm going to subscribe to Credit Bureau to see if there's a dented information on this subject. Just leave me alone. I have gone to the site to inspect what is in there. I have interacted with the management of the organization. I've called for their profile. I've seen their antecedent in managing similar organizations before coming to this place. I've seen their educational qualification, a whole lot of things. So leave me alone to make my judgment. That is on one side. On one side.
Okay, my producers are saying that the conversation is becoming too exciting. It's becoming a little bit explosive, and so all the viewers are like, they want to ask questions. So we'll take a short break. Let Prof sip some water so that I can get more energy and be ready to take on your questions. Just stay with us, okay?
when we came up with the team, say Operation Zero Tolerance, we were saying zero tolerance to deaths on our roads. We were saying having zero crashes, yes, on our roads.
We'd love to see you in Dashiki or Dandogo or Agbada.
The youth still have a very big chance of making a very big difference. That's why I started a lot of projects.
We have not been able to distinguish traditional medicine from traditional religion. So that one has...
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday and Friday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
All right, thank you for staying with us. We still have Professor Onalo with us. Before we went on that break, it was, well, I got a little bit super excited because he said something that had always been on the top of my mind. And I would like him to finish it because he had given us the preface on one side of the divide. So on the other side of the divide, why is it that you cannot access loan easily from a bank? Why is it such a burden? It's such a frightening experience. If your bank says, okay, come and take a loan, it's like, thank you, sir, I don't want. So give us the other scenario.
Yeah, well, like I said, that is the other, side of it, where management intervention, helps to scuttle the credibility of the credit assessment, credit analysis, which at the end of the day, come down to spell the doom, the default for the facility. Then the other side of it is that